Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. This time I'm going to be taking a look at some back issues I've picked up recently. So starting off, we've got issues 2 and 3 of Masters of the Universe, Sword of Flaws. And so this was the mini-series that ended up becoming the monthly series from Dark Horse Comics. So I missed out on these when they first came out for some reason. I think I might have overlooked them. But with this being the continuity that's going forward in the monthly series, I wanted to make sure I went back and got these. Next up, I've got a collection of Wednesday comics that my uncle had and gifted to me. So these were, newspaper style comics that came out from DC Comics so right here, started in July 2009. So when you see these now, they're reprinted into this nice big hardcover format, but this is how they were originally presented. And so it's basically like a comic strip newspaper. I don't even know if I can get all this on screen here. So yeah, this nice big format. But again, here we've got Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. And so you've got some really cool comics here by really good creators. We've got Lee Bermejo on Superman and Dave Gibbons and Ryan Sook on Kamandi. A lot of really cool stuff in here. But again, sort of an unwieldy format for comic books. So, I don't see these a lot anymore, in this version. And I think that's part of the reason is just comic shops didn't know what to do with them really, where to put them. Now they are comic book size though when they're folded up and everything, so they do kind of fit in a bag and a board and that sort of thing, but it is definitely unwieldy. It's hard to kind of keep these in good shape. You want to make sure they are bagged and boarded, but I rarely come across these out in the wild. I really see the hardcover collection more, but again, it was sort of a neat experiment that DC did back in the day. So I have the first issue, number 2, number 3, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And yeah, all printed on, old school sort of newspaper newsprint. Next up, we've got some Space Ghost. So I've got the previous series when Michael Cho was doing variant covers. When he left the book, I kind of dropped it. But they started up a new series, and Michael Cho was back doing variant covers on this. But I was like, oh, I wasn't getting the series before. I'll just pass on this. And then for issue 12, they did this cover here, which I thought was great. I'm like, oh, I've got to get this one. This is a really striking cover. It's really stark. Nice use of negative space for the body here and everything. And I like the way that, Space Ghost just kind of blends into the background here with the glowing eyes and everything. Really love this cover. I'm like, oh, I've got to get this. So then I had to go back and get all the others. So this was the last issue of this run that I got in. And so I went and found the others. Luckily, I found somebody on eBay who was selling a set of just the Michael Cho covers. So that's what I've got here. There are variants of these too that don't have the title, but I feel like he really kind of designed these around the title. So I wanted to get these versions of them that, has all the trade dress and everything on it. The ones that don't have the title are sort of noticeable by its absence. So I got issue 1 here. Issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, issue 6, 7. Really love that kind of glowing, disappearing kind of form there on Space Ghost. Thought that was really cool on that one. Issue 8, this is the one that really made me consider getting the covers with the titles, because this space here is being empty is really kind of noticeable on the cover and really looks like there is something missing on this one. It's not just like, a background element or something like that. Issue 9, issue 10. And again, a couple of these sort of old school, sort of multi-panel covers almost like sort of old, what was it, like Gold Key, kind of covers from the 60s back in the day. Thought these were a lot of fun too. And issue 11. So that's all the Space Ghost ones I went back and got, which probably could have got cheaper when they were solicited and bought them when they came out, but what are you going to do? So this last thing I have here is kind of fun. So I was able to come across a few issues of the Batmania fanzine from the 70s. So this was a fan publication about Batman from, I think it was 60s, or yeah, 60s and 70s. I don't think it continued on into the 80s. But this is just like a fan-produced magazine that originally they were done on mimeographs, which if you're old enough, you'll remember maybe seeing those in your local grade school. And they were just sort of purple ink ditto copies that were produced. I believe these are Xeroxes or, you know, some other brand of photocopier. But I have issue 19 here. And again, this is all like fan-made, fan-illustrated. We have all these different articles in it. You know, by Batman fans, for Batman fans, sort of thing. And these are really rare. I have never seen any of these in real life. I've seen them online and in auctions and things like that. But I've never come across them just out and about in the wild. So I have issue 19 here. And then I have issue 20, which apparently debuted their new logo. And so we have these different articles and checklists and things. And again, you know, obviously this is all pre-internet, so you didn't have any kind of database for this information back in the day. We've got some comics in here too. Got this sort of pinup on the back. I got issue 21, which is the spotlighting the world's finest team. And again, you know, we just saw this intro for this logo on issue 20, but here by issue 21 we have a different logo. So kind of interesting that they spotlighted that so heavily on the previous issue here. But yeah, we've got, you know, a bunch of articles and fan art. A lot of times you'll see stuff in these fanzines where it's amateur artists who went on to become professionals. Now, the guy that did a lot of this, where is it? Oh yeah, this guy here. So Bill Joe White, apparently he had a pretty notorious interview with DC back in the day, where he went in to interview as an artist and kind of got blown off by them. It's kind of interesting. You can find it online, kind of the details of that. But he did a lot of the work here on these. And so it's kind of a shame we didn't get to see him do like any actual professional work for DC, I believe, in any capacity. I don't think he ended up doing anything for DC ever, which is a shame because especially now with social media and the internet and all kinds of things like that, he probably would have. So yeah, and then I've got issue 23 here. So yeah, we've got, you know, editorials and all kinds of different things. We've got the thing here about Gardner Fox. So yeah, I don't know that there's any other creators who worked on these specific issues I got that went on to anything big. But it's just kind of fun seeing old fan art and stuff like that. And again, this is, you know, it's not like today where you can just get on Instagram and everybody posts their art online. So, you know, back in the day, it's pretty rare to see this kind of stuff. So this is kind of a nice time capsule of that. Oh yeah, so it looks like we have Joker and, you know, Cesar Romero, the actor here. That's kind of an interesting concept. But yeah, so I got, you know, these 5 issues of Batmania, which is, I was really thrilled to find because I just never see these and they're so rare these days. But yeah, that's some back issues I've gotten lately. New things I've added to my collection. You know, not new stuff necessarily, or not everything that's super old either, I guess. But yeah, that's everything I've picked up lately. Have you gotten anything cool to add to your collection? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter/X @Detective651, also on Instagram @Detective651. Be sure to check out my t-shirt store at tpublic.com/user/detective651. I've got a lot of nerdy designs on there, and there's sales all the time, so check it out frequently.